All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Today, we are talking about cinematographers lying to you. Well, maybe not lying to you, but definitely not telling you the whole truth. You know, when they talk about the work that they do, they talk about the lenses, the cameras, the lighting. Why do they always talk about those things? Is it really that easy? No, it's not that easy. Of course, the answer is no. But those are the easy things to talk about because those are the same things that the same decisions that you will make time and time again on every single job. What camera are we going to use? What lenses are we going to shoot on? How are we going to light this thing? Which angle is the light going to come from? Those are the things that stay the same. Those are easy to talk about. Unfortunately, for you and for me, who have very limited skill and very limited experience, we think then that that's all, because that's all they talk about, that's all that actually makes a difference. That's the job, is picking those things and then knowing how to light a scene and how to give it some shape and how to give it some depth. But the reality is, in a narrative setting, in a commercial setting, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of decisions that must be made by someone. Spoiler alert, that someone should be you, if you're the cinematographer, that are made behind the scenes before you even get there. And if you don't make the decisions properly, or if you get lackadaisical in your thinking, or you let other people make those decisions, guess what the result is going to be? It's going to be not good. But the problem with this is that it's very hard to explain this tangled web of decisions that go into actually getting there on the day and being able to shoot something that is actually halfway decent. That part is very difficult. You know what's easy? Talking about camera, talking about lenses, talking about lighting. Why is that the only education that's available? Because it's the easiest. Now, the problem with this line of thinking is you think if that's all the education that you see, well, then you think when you start the job, like I did, oh, all I have to do is nail those aspects. I just have to know all the technical details. I have to know all of the creative decision making. That means that I can match the director's vision with what is in my head. I can tell the crew exactly how to do it, what lights to use, and ta-da, it will just get done. Now, it doesn't take long in the real world to find out that that is very, very far from the truth. You see, gear and lights, those are the easy things to talk about. Those are the things that people understand. Those are the things where you can briefly say, oh, we lit this scene to look a little bit moody and we added a little backlight and that made all the difference. No. You know what made all the difference? The location, the schedule, the talks with the crew, the talks with the talent, the conversations with the director. Those things are very hard to explain. Now, if you don't do those things, you're going to get there on set on the day and you're going to think, oh, now it's my turn to take over. I'm just going to problem solve on the day and react, and I will make something halfway decent. No, you won't. It's going to be hot garbage because you need the cinematographer is not, you don't get to control everyone on set during the day and move them exactly how you would want to. What you have to do is you have to set the table. And then everyone comes to the table with their own unique insights or their own unique ways of working. And you have to sort of guide this process along. Now, in the past, I have talked about eventually everyone reaches a level. Every cinematographer that you will work with or that you're compared to, we all know how to do the technical side of things. We all know the cameras, the camera settings, the lenses, the lens characteristics, all of those things. That's like your AI generation. Yes, we just have to have it in the memory bank that you can just spit out. It is important. You have to do those things. Once you know all of that stuff, once you know how to light a scene, once you know the lights that you would use to light a scene and the different levels of softness and neg and all of those things, which we talk about here on this channel because you have to know it. What you realize, though, is that everybody knows those things. Everybody knows those things. So why are there some cinematographers who are so successful from job to job? What is the common themes that they are doing that other people are not doing? Even though you know, I mean, I would imagine I have a firm grasp on the technical and the creative side of cinematography, but there are cinematographers out there who are far better. And how can you measure that? Well, that's the beautiful thing about cinematography. It's pretty objective. Does the finished product look good? Does it look as good as someone else, as the work that someone else is doing? You can compare and you can contrast. And at least in my own case, there are people who are doing much better work than me. Does that mean they know more about the technical? Doubt it. Does that mean they know more about the different elements that it takes to create depth and contrast and shape and create an interesting shot? Probably not. What are they better at? And what takes an extremely long time to get very good at? It's going through the process of pre-production and having the conversations with the locations, with the production, with the crew, with the director, and identifying problems before they become an issue and solving them without anyone knowing. Right? Just magically, it should appear, if you're a halfway decent cinematographer, that you just get there on the day and everything just seems to fall into place. Everything just seems to work out for the best, and it doesn't look that rushed or that hurried. That's because behind the scenes, you have identified issues out in the future, and you have been able to look through your Rolodex of known issues, of things that a red flag should go up if I hear the words, tracking shot or something. If I need to have in my arsenal of solutions, I need to have all of those things in place, in prep, so that I can get rid of the problems before I actually get on set. And the farther out that you can do that into the future, and the quicker that you can solve those problems in pre-production, the better off you're going to be. I've often analogized that being a cinematographer on a commercial is basically you're signing up and the wheel is already spinning, right? You're just a cog in this wheel, in this machine, trying to get this creative thing done. But what you can do as soon as you get involved is you can look out into the landscape of the possibilities for where this commercial might end up in terms of how good it is, the production value, the ultimate final look. You can look out into the future and see the possibilities, right? Because it's not infinite. There's a limited set of possibilities that you can take this thing in terms of cinematography. If you can look out very, very far, the best thing that you can do is you can shout out to the people that are leading the navigation through the forest of possibilities. You're not at the front of the line, right? That's the director. That's the producer. They're at the front of the line deciding which direction you're going to go. You're at the back. You're at the back of the line and you're shouting out like, hey, I've been here before. Like, look out for the next, like, we want to go left instead of right at the next turn. And they can listen to you or they cannot listen to you. But if they trust you and they listen to you and you show, hey, when we had that decision whether to go left or right, our cinematographer was actually right. It's a good thing that we listened to him. Let's listen to him on the next decision too. And if you know the path, if you know what obstacles are going to come up, you're way more valuable. What does valuable even mean? That means being useful to the people around you. How can you be useful? You can project out into the future, see all of the problems and go, aha, we have issues coming up, right? You wanted to shoot anamorphic. We have no budget for lighting. That's going to be a problem because it requires a deeper stop for whatever reason. Oh, we're shooting the product. We're shooting the product on location, and we've scheduled 30 minutes for that. That's a red flag for me. Okay, I know the product shot is going to take 45 minutes longer than it's scheduled, no matter how much time you put it in for, and we're going to have to light that thing up like a Christmas tree, so we're going to need budget, we're going to need a generator. If we don't have those things, I can talk to the production at the front of the line before we even get there on the day and go like, hey, we don't have a generator. We're in trouble. So we either get a generator or we don't shoot the product. And we do that later, or we do that on another day. And it's like, that's the divergence. That's where two paths, the exact same job, can go very differently based on conversations. So the tip of the iceberg is the stuff that we always talk about. It's the easiest to communicate. It's the easiest to learn. But spoiler alert, everyone is going to learn those things. If you stick around long enough, you're going to know how to light. If you stick around long enough, you're going to know how to get the camera and the lens package that you want and all of those things. So how can you add value? Well, you can look at all of the decisions that come beforehand. And can you have a playbook for those decisions? Of course, right? A lot of them are going to be the same job after job after job, but there are unique circumstances to every job. There's location, there's schedule, there's client demands, there's crew requirements, there's whatever it is. There's a host of issues. And the problem with getting really good at cinematography is that the possibilities for things that are going to be addressable in that pre-production time before you get on set, they're endless. And it's your job to sort of narrow the scope and go, aha, these are the big things that make a difference. And always be paying attention in all of the emails that you get, in all the calls. It's like if you hear anything that is going to massively derail your ability to be functional on set, to bring that up and to bring it up in the best way possible. What's the best way possible? Normally it's early and have a solution already in mind. Like if you hear something and you're like, oh, it's going to kill our day if we have to, if we have to get some tracking shot with a gimbal. It's like, well, we only have one camera and the switch from the dolly to the gimbal is going to take us 20 minutes and it's going to be a nightmare. And then we got to switch back, and in the schedule, they're not going to ask for that. So is there any way we can go around that? And you don't say, is there any way that, no, you offer a solution. Rather than doing that, let's do this, right? That's how you make yourself useful. You should be taking problems away from production. You don't want to be adding to the issues that production are having, right? That's a bad sign. And the reality is that every win on set is a compromise. Somewhere along the lines, someone is losing out on something that they wanted or some aspect of the shot that they wanted to get. It's never everyone in the crew winning all of the time. There are trade-offs constantly. Now, trade-offs don't make for good sound bites, right? It doesn't sound very inspirational. If you say, if somebody asks you about a specific scene and you're like, oh, actually, I wanted to shoot the other way, but we couldn't because of the location, and you just throw somebody under the bus. That's never going to happen. But that's the job. The tip of the iceberg. Okay, we've talked about it. It's the giant ice that is under the waterline that makes all of the difference in your actual career. So yes, learn the technicals. Absolutely. Learn all about the gear. Learn all about the lighting. But then realize that the cinematographers that you look up to, the professionals that produce work that is quality time and time again, that's one of the things that you should be looking out for in people whose work that you admire. It's not just a one-off thing. Anybody can luck into, a fantastic director and a great crew and a great shot list or a great idea, whatever it might be, where we're shooting at sunset. It's like, can you repeatedly get great results? If you can, that's not an accident. You're doing something. You're managing to throw out ideas to keep that production on track to quality. It's like you want to eliminate all the end stages that are not quality, and you just want to guide them straight to. Now, you have to be convincing. You have to have a history of decisions that actually turn out to be valuable, and you build that up over time. So the reality of the job is that, yes, it's fun to talk about all those things, but really, that's 99% of the job has to be done before you get there. It's not just coming up with creative vision. It's not just deciding in your head what this could look like and how to fight for the image. But it's also setting the table of the path. We don't want to deviate from this path, so I'm setting up these roadblocks in advance to know that the flow of the production will get me pretty close to a result that I'm going to be happy with. And then, of course, on the day you can tweak a little bit, but the reality is get very good at communication and identifying red flags in the pre-production process. If you like this video, if you want more cinematography breakdowns and in-depth analysis, the best spot to do it is on Patreon. It's the best way to support the channel. You get a new video each and every week, breaking down some scene or some scenario or a project that I have shot myself and worked on, behind the scenes stuff. And when you sign up, you get access to a giant back catalog. There's hundreds of videos and hours of podcasts there where we go in depth on all things cinematography to hopefully make you much better at the job. If you're better at the job, hopefully you get more work. That's the idea. Check it out in the link in the description below. I appreciate it. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. Many thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.